All right, team. So we're back. Let's take a look at some videos here and break them down, give some input. All right, cool. So, Bill, crushing it, man. Just a couple of things. First and foremost, I love the speed. Look, guys, go slow and be safe and build those good habits and fundamentals. Remember, everything that you're learning is a new pathway being formed in the brain, whether you learn it fast or slow. So take your time. You'll perform with speed whenever the life-threatening situation arises. Next is look at his holster draw. He's got that finger straight up and off the trigger, and he's got a good high firm. You can even watch him drop his hand into it there. High firm pistol grip into that beaver tail. So guys, when you go to draw from the holster, you're just digging your hand down into there, getting high up into that beaver tail. So when you draw up, now you don't run the risk of negligently pulling that trigger. And look at that, very, very nice. So here, remember guys, when we're popping out of corners, you want that forward foot. So in this case, he's popping out the right corner. You want to stay vertical, which he does a good job of doing. You want to put that forward foot, which will be like synonymous to the side that you're popping out of. So if I'm peeking out of a right-sided corner, I want my right foot to be forward. And the reason behind that is stability. Because if this foot is forward when I'm shooting, bam, bam, I'll have better recoil management, as opposed to if this foot is back and I'm shooting, now my hips are open, bam, bam. It's going to make it more difficult to get multiple shots off quickly with good recoil management. So he does his shooting, good job. Here he has that left foot forward, which is what we would want in that type of a situation. And then he continues to engage, has his finger straight up off the trigger until he's back aimed in, ready to fire. So great job. All right, day in. Same thing with the feet. Cool. I like the fact that, let's see, holster draw was clean. Same thing with the legs. Good shooting. Day in, especially for how long you've been shooting for. We'll talk more about shooting and moving at the same time. We haven't really covered that, but that was not bad at all of a run. All right, Z. Right foot forward on the right corner. Left foot forward on the left side. Now, one thing I do want to emphasize is don't get caught up in these spaces here. Well, and we haven't really covered it yet, especially with you yet, Z. But guys, keep in mind, this is just like one big open space. We really want to get out of the habit of just standing in big open spaces. You should start to feel uncomfortable in them. And then once you reach that level 1 qualification, you're doing level 2 type training, I expect you then to definitely be ducking back into a position of cover or concealment whenever you are conducting things like stoppages or reloading. Caitlin, great job bringing that weapon system up into that workspace, flaring it in, turning it over, push, pull, release, get the reps in. Good draw. Again, foot forward. Good job holding that muzzle down range. You could be totally dramatic about it. That's 100% fine and acceptable. You don't have to have the arm fully extended, but I'm totally cool with it. And I know she had never done anything like this before, and so she's actually doing a really amazing job. I think this was her very first run ever. Moving slow, guys. I want you to be able to process that information more than I want you to just run through some course blasting away a bunch of rounds, okay? You need to understand that every single thing I'm telling you guys to do is backed and proven, and it's not my creation of it. It's just the backed and proven training methodology that is used at the most elite levels. Like, these are the things that you don't get anywhere else because people just haven't been exposed to them, or maybe you do get it but they've been taught by someone else, or maybe they just do it inadvertently sometimes. But what's happening here is we're opening up your cognitive brain and we're revving down that sympathetic nervous system, that stress response, that fight or fear based response, by doing these types of drills. Because when you move slow, it then therefore gives your brain enough time to actually open up and to calm the sympathetic nervous system, because it's saying, look, I'm just doing an obstacle course. Am I nervous? Yes. Revs up the sympathetic nervous system, shuts down the logical, critical thinking parts of your brain. But it's not a big deal because it's just an obstacle course. I've got Joe here, the other trainers, good people. This is a safe environment. Now, because you've allowed that time for that thought to process, it'll slow down the sympathetic nervous response and start to open up that neocortex, the logical thinking part of your brain, a little bit more. And then as you begin to do the drill, those levels of amplitude will vary. But that's the importance of moving slow, because if you start moving faster, what you're doing is you're letting that sympathetic nervous response take over in a controlled atmosphere and environment. That's actually counterintuitive to learning. That's counterintuitive to training. But when you're doing everything very slow and intentional, that's the most important thing here, is that you're doing things with intention, absolute focus and concentration. And then when you're taking the time to do that, you give your feedback loop cycle up in your brain here enough time to say, I'm still doing things correctly. I haven't done anything stupid. I'm not about to do anything stupid. If I think I'm about to do something stupid, I could just stop. I'm in a safe place, safe environment. Now you're opening up that conscious part of your brain again, and you're slowing down, shutting down that sympathetic nervous response, because you're moving slow enough and physiologically controlling the pace of your body, which is proven to control the endocrine system and the hormones that you produce, which ultimately end in the result of the behavior that you exhibit and the person that you are and that you can become. And so move slowly, move very deliberately with intention in all things whenever we're doing this training, guys, especially for those of you at the level 0, level 1, and even the level 2 and 3. Here's the thing, is that once you reach a certain level of proficiency by doing it this way, and you realize how good you truly have become, you just know moving slow is a huge part of that. And so it's not even like you even need to be told anymore, I should be moving slow. I move very slow all the time. You guys only see me doing stuff when it's in front of all of you, and I am either demonstrating at a crazy slow pace, or I'm trying to demonstrate and perform something at a moderate pace, or I'm trying to perform something at a high rate of performance, just to show you guys what is possible and to hold myself accountable to you all that I actually preach. I do what I preach. But what you don't see is me practicing, doing hours of dry fire work, hours of live fire work, where I'm literally just moving so slow and so methodical and creating this mind-body connection. Because that ultimately, and this isn't just for shooting and firearms, this is for like everything in life. Because when you start to create that type of a connection and that true priming and programming of the subconscious to where these things just become habitual, you don't even need to worry or fret or anything like that whatsoever, because you're always seeking to improve. You're always seeking the greatest version of yourself in that regard and in all regards. And then you're just already primed and programmed at the habitual subconscious level, which is just one of the greatest things that you could do. Like, it's like, hey, I want to program my subconscious to be completely security capable and conscious of like the craziest situations possible. Cool, check. Next, I'd say, hey, I want to program my subconscious to where I just like always make money and like so much money and it never stops. Okay, cool. I'm still working on that one. But my point is that That's the ultimate goal. This is where it starts and begins. It all compounds onto itself and one another whenever we're in this training. All right, I think that was pretty consistent across the board from what I saw on that range day. Let's talk about this one right here. So for my rifle people.
Cool. Same drill. Stand by, see if you can push it faster. Nice.
What
so
a
that
difference.
Was a little sloppy, but that's okay. I don't want to see you just keep rat nesting every time you come out here.
So, Chris, great shooter. What I'm talking to him about is I don't want to just see this every single time that I give him drills to shoot. And what we were working on there was presentation drills. One of the best things that you could do for all your weapon systems, actually, shotgun, rifle, pistol, doesn't matter, is a presentation drill. So for rifle, all you're doing is you're just starting off at a 45-degree angle, capable of turning your cheek and having a conversation with somebody, and then all of a sudden that target, that buzzer goes off, boom, boom. And that's a presentation drill right there. Once you get that down, I mean, you should be coming in at like 0.75 seconds at least. Once you get that down, that's when we start incorporating 2 shots into it, and then 3 shots into it, and then 4 shots into it. Don't jump too far ahead and start just incorporating like whole mag dumps. It's not going to do anything. It's the slow addition of those rounds. Now, watch this other part that I'm about to talk with him about.
Aim in for me. Yeah, this popping out right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so right now it actually looks pretty good, but it was probably sitting a little higher than it normally would,
Yeah.
just like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And that's where we start to see that come out, 5th, 6th shot.
Yeah.
Just got to learn to work either around it or kind of like.
So, I think that's what. No. I thought I had a picture of it with him, but the shoulder had the gun sitting basically out of pocket. That'll probably be it right here. Yeah. So that right there is very, very high out of pocket, and it's partially because of the kit. And this is really, you know, like when you think of like the point of like these risers, you could drop this into the shoulder even more and still have good line of sight and be capable of managing that recoil. So what happened with him was his first 6 shots were really good, did them slow, then I had him speed it up that time. That's when it became sloppy. Well, why did it become sloppy? Because as we're getting into shots 3, 4, 5, 6, if the gun is already all the way up here, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's going to just start sliding out more and more and more. So how do we correct something like that? Well, one, you have to have slick shoulders in your kit, and you guys will notice, like for example, on mine, if you haven't yet. I run very slick shoulders. Okay, so radio cable on the left side, nothing on the right side. And the purpose behind that is so I could get my shoulder properly all the way up in here. Now, you don't need to completely lift your whole shoulder up. You just slightly roll it forward like I'm showing you here to get it in the pocket. So this is like in the pocket of the shoulder. and then you slightly roll it up. And then that's how you would work on those presentation drills. When you start incorporating more shots, that's when you'll be able to manage that recoil and get them to be very accurate. All right, let's take a look at Corey here. I don't know what we were doing.
Stand by.
Oh yeah, I remember.
All right. 17.87. Good hits. Let's see. -1, -2.
I get the here,
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Well, I'll include that headshot as a 2-point hit, but then that would be a -1, or maybe did you do 3 shots on this?
I get 2.
Maybe I forgot to paste.
Side.
Hey man, minus.
All right, so let's talk about this here. We start off this obstacle course. Now Corey's a really good shot. Probably one of the better rifle ones in the group. We start off by doing a weak-sided shoot through a left-sided corner. Now, he has his arm slung through. The first thing he has to do is he has to come swoop it underneath. That's totally fine. We grab that magazine. We punch that gun forward, bring it over to that left shoulder, get that forward grip, come back here with that high firm pistol grip, put it on fire, peek around that corner, and then handle business, and you just reverse the process in order to get it back to the other side. So if you want a good little drill to run, aim up on something on your wall like a target. And get that in right there. Make sure that you're flipping that safety off. That'd be a good little rifle drill there for you guys. All right, let's do one more. Yeah, that was my kid who busted his shit a couple days ago. All right, wear a belt on
The
all
importance
ranges,
of a belt. Don't
guys.
worry. Don't stress about it.
All right, there you go.
There you go. Just let that thing forward. Awesome.
Good job letting this
Great job. Do yourselves a little brass check.
Good grips.
Great. Shooters at this point in time, unload, show clear. Unload, show clear.
Good job turning, Bill. That actually encouraged Phil to do the same.
Hold on.
You're good.
Always stow the
Take your
magazines,
time, there's no
guys.
rush.
There's no reason to try to do this stuff all at the same time.
And then just lock that to the rear.
Oh.
Good job. That was great.
Very nice.
So then I'll come up behind you. I'll say, okay. Okay, go ahead, send it forward and reholster.
Wear a belt.
That was perfect. All right, shooters. Couple other things before we head back.
All right, guys. So that's just a few reviews here from some of the shooting that's been going on the last couple of weeks. There's a couple of extra drills in there that you guys could run. Let me know what you guys got. Talk to you soon.